Sue Bird's name doesn't just live in the record books, it echoes through decades of basketball as a synonym for grace, leadership, and enduring excellence. In a world where sports careers often flicker and fade in the span of a few seasons, Bird's legacy is the lighthouse that guided not only her teams but the entire WNBA for over 2 decades. She wasn't just a player. She was a presence. She was a vision of consistency, a symbol of poise under pressure, and a standard-bearer for what a point guard should be. From her first game in a Storm jersey to her final walk off the court, Sue Bird left an imprint on the game that is permanent and profound. Born on October 16, 1980, in Syosset, New York, Suzanne Brigit Bird was never destined for ordinary. She was raised in a supportive, sports-loving household that fostered both her competitive edge and her love for the game. As a child, she dabbled in multiple sports, but basketball had her heart from the very beginning. At Christ the King Regional High School in Queens, Bird's exceptional court vision and passing abilities began attracting national attention. It was clear early on, she didn't just run offenses, she conducted them. Her game was marked by an uncanny ability to think 2 steps ahead, to see passing angles others couldn't, and to make the players around her better. That's not just talent. That's leadership in its rawest, most refined form. Sue's collegiate journey at the University of Connecticut under Gino Auriemma was a story of dynastic domination and personal evolution. At UConn, she would not only help lead the Huskies to 2 NCAA championships but also craft a resume that marked her as one of the greatest guards in women's college basketball history. In her senior year, she was named the Naismith College Player of the Year, the Wade Trophy winner, and the Associated Press Player of the Year. All titles that felt less like awards and more like affirmations of what everyone already knew. Her poise, her decision-making, and her ability to execute under pressure became trademarks that would define her professional career for years to come. Selected first overall by the Seattle Storm in the 2002 WNBA draft, Sue Bird entered a league still carving its place in the mainstream sports consciousness. But from day one, she carried herself like a franchise centerpiece. The Storm found not just a playmaker in Bird, but a cornerstone. Over 19 seasons, spanning 21 years due to injuries and international commitments, Bird helped build a culture of excellence in Seattle. She wasn't flashy. She didn't need to be. Her consistency, her steadiness, her IQ, they were the thunder that rolled beneath the lightning of others' highlight reels. Sue Bird's game was defined by a surgical understanding of the floor. She wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the most athletic player on the court. But no one thought the game like she did. Her passes cut through defenses like poetry in motion. Her calm demeanor in chaotic moments gave her teams a psychological edge. She led by example, by endurance, and by empathy. And the result was not only individual accolades, 13 WNBA All-Star selections, 5 All-WNBA First-Team honors, but, more importantly, team success. 4 WNBA championships, each in a different decade. In each of those title runs, in 2004, 2010, 2018, and 2020, Sue Bird adapted to new rosters, different stars, and evolving styles of play. Whether she was the lead facilitator for Lauren Jackson in the early days or creating harmony with Breanna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd in the latter years, Sue's brilliance was in her ability to morph without losing her essence. She was the thread that connected generations, the bridge between eras. Players came and went, but Bird remained, quietly orchestrating greatness with every no-look pass and every clutch three-pointer. Her influence wasn't confined to WNBA hardwoods. Sue Bird's international career added a global hue to her legend. She is one of only a handful of players, men or women, to earn 5 Olympic gold medals, representing the United States from 2004 to 2020. Alongside Diana Taurasi, her longtime friend and backcourt partner, she transformed Team USA into not just a winning machine, but a model of team chemistry and unselfish play. With Bird at the helm, the U.S. women's national team didn't just dominate, they inspired. Her leadership on those teams transcended stats. She was the connective tissue, the quiet voice in the huddle, the player you trusted when the gold was on the line. And that's always been the magic of Sue Bird. She didn't demand the spotlight, but it found her because of her ability to elevate everyone around her. Her legacy is not just about rings or records, it's about relationships. She built trust with teammates. She formed bonds that lasted long after the final buzzer. She earned the respect of opponents who knew that facing Bird meant engaging in a chess match, not just a basketball game. Off the court, Sue Bird has become a powerful voice in sports and society. Openly gay and proudly vocal about LGBTQ+ rights, gender equity, and racial justice, Bird has used her platform to push for change. Her voice carries weight not just because of her resume, but because of the authenticity behind it. She's been a trailblazer not just in the way she played, but in the way she lived. She's co-founded media companies, participated in athlete advocacy initiatives, and stood alongside fellow sports figures demanding reform. She understands that her legacy is about more than numbers, it's about impact. Her relationship with soccer star Megan Rapinoe also positioned her as part of a power couple in the fight for justice and equality, each supporting the other's endeavors with visible love and shared purpose. Together, they showed the world what it means to be proud, powerful, and principled. When Sue Bird finally announced her retirement in 2022, the tributes came pouring in, not only from WNBA fans, but from NBA legends, Olympic athletes, and icons of every industry. That's the mark of true greatness. When those who don't even play your sport pause to salute your contributions, you know you've transcended the game. Her farewell season was a celebration, a moving parade of gratitude in arenas across the country, as fans, players, and coaches all took time to honor her enduring legacy. But Sue Bird's influence didn't stop when she hung up her jersey. She stepped into broadcasting with the same poise and intellect she displayed on the court. Her commentary is sharp, informed, and insightful, reminding audiences that once a point guard, always a point guard. She has become a mentor, a media figure, and a strategist, offering guidance to the next generation of athletes while continuing to advocate for growth and investment in women's sports. She also remains closely tied to the WNBA, working behind the scenes to help shape the league's future. Whether it's through collective bargaining initiatives, ownership possibilities, or mentorship programs, Sue is still leading the way, this time from the front office, boardroom, and studio. And if her playing career taught us anything, it's that where Sue Bird goes, excellence follows. The story of Sue Bird is not about one moment, it's about hundreds. It's not defined by one season, it's carved across decades. She has represented the power of staying steady in a sport that changes rapidly. She has shown the world that greatness can be quiet. That leadership doesn't always come with volume. That a true point guard leaves trails not by shouting, but by guiding others toward light. As we look ahead, we know Sue Bird's legacy isn't complete. Because legacies like hers don't end with retirement, they ripple outward. They show up in the next young girl who watches a Storm game and sees herself in number 10. They live on in the culture of teams built around selflessness, intelligence, and heart. They endure in the policies and media changes she's influencing. And they continue to evolve in every corner of the sports world she chooses to touch next. Sue Bird was never the loudest, never the flashiest, but she was always the most composed, the most prepared, the most persistent. In a world that often values instant fame over sustained success, she reminded us of the power of the long game, of what it means to stay, to serve, and to deliver over and over again. She may no longer be lacing up her sneakers, but Sue Bird is still in the game, just in new ways. And for that, basketball and the world are better. If you've ever watched Sue Bird thread a pass through the tightest window or lead her team with quiet composure and surgical precision, then you understand that true greatness often speaks in calm, steady tones. Like this video to honor a legend whose legacy is built on consistency, leadership, and purpose. Share it with someone who values excellence that stands the test of time, and subscribe to Star Hub for more stories about athletes who don't just play the game, they elevate it, reshape it, and leave it better than they found it.